There are a lot of watches with ambitious names. The Conqueror, the Commander, the Super Avenger. You put one of those things on and suddenly you feel like you should be leading a cavalry charge. Then there's this, the Gentleman. Not the hero, not the legend, just the Gentleman. A level of confidence I respect, because that's exactly what this watch is. It's well-dressed, well-mannered, doesn't make a scene, and quietly picks up the bill without telling everyone about it later. At around 1,000 Canadian dollars, the Gentleman represents one of the easiest entries into Swiss automatic watches, from a brand that's been getting value right for a very long time. You get mechanical watchmaking, solid finishing, and enough versatility that this could genuinely be your only watch. Which is dangerous because this hobby doesn't like sensible decisions. This version comes with a gorgeous blue dial, but what I really appreciate is the detail you don't immediately notice. Look a little closer and there's this subtle sector-style finishing worked into the dial. It's incredibly understated. In fact, if someone asked you what was different about the dial after your first glance, you'd probably just shrug. Then the light hits it. Now suddenly you're tilting your wrist back and forth like you're communicating with satellites. It's a really classy touch that rewards you for actually spending time with the watch. Dimensionally, Tissot absolutely nailed this one. You're looking at a 38mm case, about 11 thick, roughly 45 lug to lug. It comes in at 135 grams on a full bracelet. And on my 6.5-inch wrist, this thing is just right. And I don't mean just right if you squint, I mean it actually is just right. Inside you get the Powermatic 80, an automatic movement giving you guessed it, 80 hours of power reserve, which means you can take it off Friday night, ignore it all weekend, and it'll still be running Monday morning. Meanwhile, my phone needs charging twice before lunch. Flip the watch over and you're greeted by an exhibition caseback. Now, no one's going to mistake this movement for a high horology, but that's not really the point here. It's just nice that Tissot lets you see the little mechanical engine doing its thing instead of hiding it behind a steel plate. Because let's be honest, we all spend more time looking at movements than we'd like to admit. The bracelet is another pleasant surprise. Once you've sized it to your wrist, the quick release spring bars make swapping straps easy. No tools, no scratched lugs, no tiny spring bars launching themselves into another dimension. Just click and you're done. Now, I'm generally not the biggest fan of butterfly clasps because they tend to prioritize symmetry over accessibility, but I do appreciate one thing here. It's not polarized. You can close either side first without the clasp throwing a mechanical tantrum. It's a small detail, but surprisingly satisfying. The polished bezel, however, well, that's going to come down entirely to personal taste. Some people love the extra elegance, but I personally lean towards fully brushed finishes. Why? Because polished bezels have an incredible talent. They can locate the only hard object within a 3-foot radius and immediately introduce themselves. Every tiny scratch shows up. It's basically a fingerprint collector with commitment issues. Still, there's no denying it does elevate the entire look of the watch. Lume is probably the weakest part of the package. You've got small lume plots on the hour markers and a healthier application on the hands. It's perfectly readable after charging, but don't expect it to carry you through the entire night. Think of it less as dive watch lume and more so I can somewhat find my watch hidden in a dark room kind of lume. And that's perfectly acceptable because it isn't pretending to be a dive watch. It's pretending to be exactly what it says on the box, a gentleman. And that's really what makes this watch so compelling. Nothing here is trying too hard. The proportions are excellent, the finishing punches well above the price, the movement is proven. The dial has enough personality to keep enthusiasts interested without becoming too loud. It's one of those rare watches that doesn't need a gimmick to justify its existence. It just quietly does what it needs to do, which, when you think about it, is a pretty gentlemanly thing to do.